Hi!
Ah!
How are you?
I'm alive.
Me too.
It has been a day.
Yeah.
David!
Hey, David. Welcome to the show.
All quacked up and good to go.
We're all quacked up and good to go.
My God, that line is so cheesy.
Just like us.
So, what are you working on tonight?
I will be working on trying to get my tune shading to work. I had an idea on tune shading, and I was curious about whether it would work or not. So we'll have to see. So that'll be the next thing I'm going to give. I'm going to give that a shot here in just a few minutes. But I'm unsure whether it'll work or not. We'll have to see. So.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll be heading to that in a minute here.
The one that has the internet is when you go looking for a reference and you have a really strong image in your mind and you type it into the search and you can't find anything regarding that, and you're sitting here going, you're meaning to tell me in the 100 years of DC and Marvel's existence, no one has had a bar scene like this from this angle? The answer is, of course not. They've had it, just no one has it.
Right.
So.
And off they go.
Okay, so we got the cars on my end. We
Right.
just need George knocking over the cup.
You're not wrong.
Actually, let's do Game of Thrones.
And there went the cup.
Yep, they want the cup.
All right, I'm gonna go to bed.
Good night. Love you. See you in the morning. Well, I'll see you. There we go.
There we go.
It didn't fall enough. You had to pick it up to make it fall again dramatically. You don't like that either.
We're both being so super quiet tonight.
It's true.
Uh-oh.
We got a
Hey,
cat.
it's a cat!
Hopefully. Is my mic working?
Yes!
We can actually hear you and everything. It's a shocker.
Wow. Right? Shocker. Like it actually works for once.
Right off the bat, too. You're kind of like, wait a minute.
Am I being punked? Is it working for once?
Right? Is this doing what it's supposed to do? Is this thing on?
Wow, it's working what it's it's doing what it's supposed to.
Right?
Unlike me all day. Well, all afternoon. Evening, whatever.
How are you today?
I'm a little tired. It's one of those days where I really just don't want to do anything. I really just want to sleep.
Right.
But I need to get my stuff done
So here
and
you are.
just buckle down and do it. I thoroughly distracted myself by going over my analytics instead of drawing today. I'm like, well, to be fair, I was supposed to do it a couple days ago and I didn't do it. So it was indeed overdue. So, and the good news is they're recovering as they should. Will it ever get back to what it used to be? Don't know. We'll find out.
Right.
Stay tuned.
Right.
Yeah, my lowest retention rate was all the way down to 17% once I had the final numbers in. And now it's back up to 25. So almost where I want it to be, which is 30 or above.
That's not bad.
Mm-mm.
So, I have a bit of a fear with all of this stuff with online comics and kind of where we're going.
Online comics?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that is that no fresh blood will be brought into some of these comic companies unless you have a comic that has had success on these different platforms.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a valid fear.
I think so too.
I think also any company that does that's a fucking scrub. So
yeah, but there's plenty of companies that want to see the
thing is though is even before then, like you had to like if you were to be picked up by somebody, you also had to have like at least a pitch ready, or you didn't necessarily have to have a plan. Like you still had to have stuff put together. You still had to be presentable, and you had to have something reasonable. Like you're not going to walk into a pitch with say like Marvel or whatever just to throw a name out there, or even someone as small or maybe not small, but you know what I mean, like not Marvel size, you know, like Yen Press or Oni or whatever, you know, Antarctic, whoever. Like you're not going to walk in and go, here's my like 60 issue epic that's like the next One Piece or Naruto or is the next saga or whatever. Like you have to start small and prove to them like through smaller stories that you have something worthwhile. So like
yeah, but I'm worried about the other end.
What do you mean? Like working on like an existing IP?
No, like you have to have a certain metric of readership before you can even talk to them.
Well, like I said, I think any company that does that's a fucking scrub and nobody should support them. Like, if a company is going to start looking at that as a measurement of future success, then that's stupid. Because there are some people that just need to have that support, to have that direction that a formal editorial team can give them. If a company looked at me and said, you have to have this amount of social media presence or like readership before we hire you, I'd say, fuck you, goodbye. I never want to work with you ever again, because clearly you have I understand from a business perspective why they would do that. And that's kind of business smart. But at the same time, that extremely limits your pool of potential, you know, to like a small select group. And all that's doing, yes, that's risk management. But what it's doing is it's basically saying, I am so afraid of losing any profits to shareholders, I don't want to take risk. If you work in publishing, congratulations, you're going to work in a really risky business. I think like 5% of comics actually succeed to like become like living off of your income level succeed. Like only like 5% do that.
Yeah.
So like the number is incredibly small to begin with. So imagine them saying, "Hey, like we're only gonna of all the 5% of people that meet our standards, like we're only 5% of those people are gonna succeed." I mean, maybe they're trying to increase that number, like that secondary number, but they're gonna lose out on a lot of really good ideas that people would want to read. And I feel like that would hurt the company in the long term rather than help them. Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to weed out the weak early on, but something can come into their hands weak and become great.
I agree.
You know, good.
But that's the kind of fear I have with the way
I think it's a valid
things
fear.
are going, and particularly with venture investors.
Oh yeah.
That they don't necessarily give a shit about the creators. They just want to see their fucking money grow.
Because they're not in the business for comics, and if that's the sort of person that you're probably going to work with, that should be a humongous red flag to you. Because it's just like, okay, I'm going to say it, it's just like Disney. Okay, if Disney offered you $1 million for your IP and your title, but you had zero control over it, would you say yes?
No, because it's Disney.
Exactly. Like, well, there's so let's say any company. Okay, let's up the stakes. Say any publisher offers you $10 million, but you lose your rights. You don't get to choose anything. They can change your characters, change your story, change anything, and you get nothing else. No royalties, nothing. Not even movies or an anime or whatever. Would you say yes?
No.
Okay, then. So then don't work with a company that focuses on venture capitalists. So like you're going to be one of those people that's just going to be stuck in the indie train. It sounds like, or you're just going to have to work longer in finding the right company for you. They exist. The doujinshi, that's why the doujinshi circle is so strong in Japan. Or circles are so strong in Japan, because they know once they get a publisher, they know what's going to happen to them. Like, as far as their titles, their work-life balance, like, it's bad while we're indies, and then you get a publisher. Like my friend got picked up by Comic Days, and he has to have someone go get his groceries for him because he's so busy, he can't even go get his own groceries. And that's with assistance. Like, he's like stuck in his room all day, every day, and he doesn't get really any time off. He has to like work really hard to get ahead just to get any time off. Like, that's just how his life is. And like my manga indie friends are like, Kat, like don't join a publisher. Stay in the doujinshi circles and you'll be fine. It's harder, but you have more control, and you don't have some twat who doesn't know shit about making comics trying to tell you how to run your business. Like, yeah, you want those business skills, and I know plenty of venture capitalists, but like, you don't want to sacrifice. Like, it all depends on what you're willing to sacrifice. And to me, if there's a company that only cared about the money and didn't actually care about making good comics, I wouldn't want to work for that company. And This is Creator Cat talking. This is not Global Comics Cat talking. So this is Creator Cat talking. Me as an individual, like, I would never want to work for a company.
Mm-hmm.
You know, ever. I don't care if they gave me $20 million, $100 million, like, whatever. I don't care. I wouldn't want to work for that company. I'd rather be broke, but love what I'm doing and love how I'm doing and supporting other creators and like the genuine message. Like, rather than like sell my life away and work for a company that doesn't like and actually support people and has no vision. You know, like we actually read comics. Like, all of us, we all read. We read a lot. In fact, I make recommendation lists for them as well. Like, hey guys, read this, read this. You guys would like this. Like, that's just what we do. We're always pointing out, hey guys, have you seen this comic yet? Have you seen this comic yet? And that's the really cool thing is we all have our own unique interests and our own unique likes as far as series and stuff. So like, we all point out different things and we all help each other with features. Like, we all genuinely love comics, and as we're getting more people, like, we're making sure that those people also like comics. Whatever in that way liking comics is for them. Some people aren't super big readers, but they still think it's fascinating and they want to support those people. You know, there's me and one other one that also creates. So, you know, we have that perspective. It's just about finding the right people, and finding the right people just sometimes takes time.
Mm-hmm. No,
sorry, I ranted. I just think about this a lot.
But I also think that it's a valid.
It's something you have to watch.
A valid concern.
Oh, 100%. 100%. It, like, what really concerns me is seeing, like, these famous celebrities being like, oh, I'm going to make a comic. And I'm like, okay, you're going to make a comic, but are you actually going to, like, pay attention to how comics are made, or are you just going to, like, pay somebody to do it for you and never look at it ever again? Like, are you doing it just to be cool? Or are you doing it because you actually like comics? And because you know, like, you're not doing it just for the money and for the attention. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, they're adults. They can technically do what they want, but we can smell fakes. We can smell fakes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't really care that much if people don't like my comic, but, like, don't come into my community and make people doubt themselves and, like, you know. I had this one kid that like, someone had shared their Global Comics, like after you publish in Global Comics, it gives you like a link to share. Someone had shared that link, and this person was like, that's a really good way to kill your reach retention on Twitter by using hashtags. I'm like, one, that is not true.
Right.
And two, who are you? Like, yeah, it was like, bro, like, what marketing like experience do you actually have? And it turned out to be none. And
I have
like,
a degree in YouTube.
Right? Well, I asked him, I'm like, you seem to have a lot of followers, and like, how, like, what do you do to? He's like, oh, I do the art moots tag on Twitter, which is basically follow for follow. I'm like, oh, okay. So, like, your marketing advice is follow for follow and abuse the arts mood, just occasionally unfollow a bunch of people that you've already followed. Because having more people that you follow than people follow you hurts you in the algorithm. At least according to the data we saw after it was made public.
Right.
You know, so like, if you do follow for follow, you occasionally have to unfollow a bunch of people that you followed, and then you're not technically art mutuals.
There's an error in the formula.
Ruh-roh.
Like,
yeah, today was a weird day. I didn't even get my article done, damn it. I mean, it's not due for a couple more weeks, so I have time, but I have to have it done by the end of the week. It's a biggin'. It's finally the creator onboarding article. There's so much stuff. So much stuff. Hi, creators. Make sure you check out this, and make sure you do this. Oh, and don't forget this part. Oh, and don't forget that part. We gotta cover this too.
It's true.
Yeah, I have no idea when that one's coming out, but that's the one I'm working on this week. and I somehow magically have to have like 6 pages done by Monday morning. I don't know what happened, but I'm gonna have to pull that one out of my ass. Can you tell I'm frustrated? I'm having one of these. Gosh, I'm so grumpy today. I'm sorry.
You're all right.
Good.
You know what's really cool about this group? We're all just here to support you, and we're good.
Yeah.
We will support you.
Mm-hmm. I was supposed to stream on YouTube today, but I just didn't feel like it.
Did you do the link up thingy?
No, I don't want to do that because I want to do it on a day I'm actually able to pay attention to everything.
Oh, that's fair.
So I'm gonna wait probably till next time. Like I said, I got stuck in my analytics, like analyze just something because I love math. Math is fun for me. It's very relaxing for me because it gets me out of emotional brain and into logical brain. And so like it helps me chill. Like I like to solve chemical equations for fun, or I like to balance chemical equations for fun. Right?
Nope.
Like yeah, like chemical, like this compound plus this compound plus this compound equals, you know what? And I'm like, oh, it does this. Like that's what I do for fun. And then there was that god awful algebra problem that was going around Twitter again. Oh, let me show you. Let me. Well, it's written with really bad grammar, and it could be solved in 2 different ways. And that's why you get 2 different answers. It's because the grammar for the problem is written really badly.
Mm-hmm.
So the problem is this. Let me actually write it out. And this is exactly how it's written. 6.
Oh man.
Huh. So how do you solve that? There's a couple different ways to do it, and it all depends on if you look at it as arithmetic or algebra.
Is that 1 plus 2, or is that 1 divided by 2?
1 divided by.
Okay. Well, yeah, no, I mean the other one, which.
Oh, it's a plus.
Okay. Because it'd be would you solve the things in parentheses first, so that's 3.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So
then
you get.
Have 6 divided by 2 times 3. So the way you do isn't it FOIL, first, inner, outer, last?
Yeah, exactly. That's why this is such a problem. Is what people are doing is they turn this into 6 divided by 2 times 3, and then they just solve left to right. That's what some people are doing.
Yeah, but you would solve you'd solve the 2 to 3 first, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
2 times 3.
Because see what my brain did is after I saw this.
Yeah, PEMDAS. PEMDAS.
PEMDAS, yeah, PEMDAS. And see what my brain did is I did this. Like my brain automatically changed it to this. That's what my brain tried to do. And then
you solve 1 plus 2 first, that becomes 3. Then it's 2 times 3, which is 6. And it's 6 over 6, which gives you 1.
Yep. 6 equals 1. But people are telling me it's 9 because of doing it this way. You know, 6 divided by 2 is 3 times 3 is 9. And so because the grammar is so bad in this, because it could really be either way, like that's why people were arguing over like what the proper answer is. But it's just the grammar is written really badly, and it could really be taken either way. We just don't know what the original author's intent was, so we don't know what the answer is. And I literally had somebody basically call me a moron because I solved it this way. And he was
that's great.
He's like, are you trolling me? I'm like, no, you're trolling me. Like. Because, I want to do the foil. I want to do the foil thing. That's what I want to do. But yeah, so that was fun. But that's the kind of stuff that I'll do for fun. I'll go find a chemical equation, I'll balance it out, or I'll go find some like complicated algebra or arithmetic problems and I'll go solve them just like, because to me it's a game. Some people play video games, I solve math problems. And chemical equations.
You know?
It's a game. Yeah, there's an answer and I have to find it. So that's why I like math and science. I like that kind of stuff.
All I gotta say is, you do you, boo.
Mm-hmm.
That, I think you just used up my lifetime supply of math skills right there. Burned them all out. I mean, like, yeah, it's just like, I don't know.
No, it's very, yeah. Math and science are some of them. Like, I was originally a STEM kid. Remember, I didn't start drawing until I was 18. I was originally a STEM kid. Kind of stuff was like my bread and butter. I love doing my taxes. I love budgeting. Like, I love helping people budget. At least, well, in the sense that, hey, I have this amount of money. How do I spend it each month based on my goals? Like, I don't get financial. I just say, here's how I would like distribute your money, and here's where all your money is going. And 99% of the time, it's you're eating out too much, and you're not paying your debts. There's this YouTuber that I watch now called Caleb Hammer. And he's sort of like he's like my generation's version of Dave Ramsey, but without the evangelical preaching. And he's really, really funny, actually. He does all the like really nice, like really good information and like education about finances and stuff, just without the preachiness.
That's cool. I mean, I'm sitting here making faces because it's math and I hate math, and it's like part of my character now to hate math.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm actually not that bad at math, relatively speaking, except that this is the 94th iteration of my star charts, because clearly I don't do trigonometry very well. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
However,
that's fair.
This time I just let Celestia do the math. So it did the math for me. So now what I'm doing is just checking to make sure that Celestia did it right. That's all I got to do.
Yeah, you're kind of mathed out right now. Mathed out. Very careful pronunciation there.
Yes.
I was actually shocked. I actually owed money this year on my taxes. That's the first time I've ever owed money.
That's actually kind of wild.
Yeah.
I would say that's cool, but it's not, except that it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't pay enough on my estimated, which is really abnormal because usually I'm really good at guessing that, but
even monkeys fall from trees.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite Japanese saying ever.
Mm-hmm. I think what it was is maybe my W-2 taxes actually paid out enough, because usually what happens is I do overpay, but usually whatever I might miss in the estimation gets covered by my W-2 return, and I didn't get a return this year. Because I guess the math was done properly, so I didn't get a return this year. I had to pay in. Just a tiny bit, but I had to pay in. I think it was only like $20 or $30 or something. And I mean, I'd rather have to pay in than get money back. Technically speaking, it's better to pay in a little than get money back.
That's fair.
Yeah, because then that means they're not taking too much of your money. Because you don't get all of it back. Let's be honest.
Also true.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we're gonna borrow your money completely interest free and then not give all of it back to you. I was shocked though at how much TurboTax costs this year. Oh gosh. I remember it was like $50, $60. It was $120 this year. Almost. Ridiculous. Hi, Miso. Gonna come steal the show again? Yeah.
Between Miso and George.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, wanna come sit in my lap? Well, give me 1 sec. Let me adjust. Alright, come on. Yeah. Oh yeah, they do it on purpose. They get to keep more of their money.
Why'd you add that back in? I deleted it and then you added it back in. What is your problem?
Miso.
Goofball.
Miso.
Why did
What?
you do that?
Oh, protest! My gosh. Dolph does protest too much, Miso. Remember the thing kind the other day, how Miso has to sit in my lap, in my arms a particular way?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's doing that again. She didn't want to sit in my lap, she wanted to be held. Silly cat.
She's being needy.
Yes. She's been needy all day. And the sad part is I let her get away with it too because she's just too cute. So, I mean, it's all my fault, but... Miso. You just settle down, hun. Don't sass me. God, you're getting big. You're getting heavy, Miso. I mean, that's a good thing. It's a good thing you were underweight for so long.
You hear Miso talking? Is that what you're hearing?
Oh, George.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, who is that beautiful angelic voice that I hear?
Not 100% sure that's what he's thinking, but you never know. Anything could be possible at this point.
Miso. Are you mad because I didn't play with the laser pointer for dinner? Is that why you're mad?
Mm-mm. Not getting all of those exercises in, huh?
Well, she got her exercise in, and she just got it in a different way than normal. Usually while I'm cooking dinner, I have the laser pointer in my hand, and so while I'm waiting for stuff to cook, like, I'm giving her her exercise for the day. And today I didn't do that. I played with her after dinner, with like a string thingy that I made, and she completely tore it apart. And so we had an extra short session today because I have to now go buy a new one because she completely tore it up. So she didn't get her extra long play session today, and she's mad at me, and so she's being needy. That's what I thought she wanted. I thought she just wanted to play. And I'm like, damn, girl, you're aggressive today. You broke it. So once I get paid, I'll go get her a new one. She has plenty of toys, but she really likes this particular one. It has like these really large feathers on it, and they're when you swing it in the air, it makes like a whirring sound
Mm-hmm.
because they rotate, and she really loves it. She's a jumper, so she likes jumping up to catch it, and she just completely tore the feathers today, and now they don't do the thing that she likes. Because you killed it very efficiently. Almost too efficiently. Have you been practicing when I'm not home?
Yes.
This shouldn't be this hard.
Miso, it's really hard to draw one-handed. Is it just me or is something really scratchy? Like a static?
Yeah, staticky.
Oh, that might be me. I was having issues with my mic yesterday during my live stream. Let me switch over and see if that fixes it. Oh, they fixed it.
Yep.
Okay, is this one better?
Yeah, that's much better.
Dang it, what is wrong with my mic? That sucks.
Maybe your gain is a little too high.
Yeah, I don't know how to change that on this mic though. Let me look it up really quick. Miso, honey, I'm sorry, I gotta put you down. Oh, protest, huh? On Jada. I'm gonna put it back on and we'll see if I can get it fixed. Alright, hopefully, like, if anything, on the... Maybe... Okay, I see. It has to be tilted slightly. Oh, I have an aux input? Nice. Or I have an output. Oh, okay. I wonder if that might be... I wonder if it's my CS... I wonder if it's my C port that might be causing the issues. Maybe because I was having issues with that earlier. Let me switch over to my 30.
Hello, Merrick.
5.
Hi, Merrick.
Is this any better? Is it still gainy, grossy?
No, it's fine.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Good. Then I fixed it. Awesome. Yeah, it must have been that because I did change the gain, so hopefully that fixed it. If it gets that way again, let me know. Hey, Merrick, what's up? Hi, Donald. Actually, I'm curious to see what I have over here. Properties. Oh. Okay, there we go. Now I have it back on the JLab one, and if it comes back, let me know. That ugly sound comes back.
We will do so.
Hey, Donald.
Okay, alright. Now that I have full control of both my hands. Miso. Boing.
Yeah. We're all mad over here.
Well, I don't think I'm not mad at it. It's like, oh, I know what that sound means.
No. Excel's all mad.
Oh, Excel is, yeah. Excel's a big baby sometimes.
Right?
It's so picky. It's like, dude, I know it's not right. Just do the thing. It's like, can't you just do it anyway?
That'd be great.
Mm-hmm. What's it giving you problems about? Just the formulas and stuff?
I'm trying to do a 3D chart.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And I need 3 different axes for this chart. And it's like, no. All 3D charts are really 2D charts. They're just with big, cute squares. I don't know. It's like really cranky. I'm having
You
stupid
can't tell me
fun,
what to do.
right? I'm a real dad.
Right? Yep.
Yeah. So I've got the chart up going here. It's working just fine, sort of. But like, what I need is this axis here to be X, this one to be Y, and then this up to be Z. And what I'm finding is there's no way to do that. It's like, okay. It's like, whatever. I'm just getting frustrated with it. I'm like, really? Do you have to be this difficult?
Yes. It's like that poster from the oatmeal about how printers were sent from hell to make us miserable. If you know the one I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep, and it just switch it out for Excel.
Right?
I wanted to have that poster in my my office when I was working as a printer, and they said no because it had the word hell in it. I'm like, I can tape over it. I can scratch it out. They're like, no, because if anyone actually knows what it says, then it could cause a problem. And I'm like, really, dudes?
Really? So that's what you're worried about? Just one.
Yeah. I'm like, you're not worried about me just staring at the poster all day instead of actually getting my work done? Yeah, that shows where your priorities are. Well, and we also had tours. Like, they would just, like, bring customers in while we were working, too. And I'm like, you know I have stuff like acetone and other really noxious chemicals in here. And it's a clean room!
Right.
Bringing people in my office when I'm trying to work! But the customers like to see how it's actually done. Well, they can watch from outside the ginormous 5-foot by 4-foot window.
Where it's safe.
Right? I'm like, it's just like, there's a reason there's a vent in here. Because it can get noxious in here at times. Because it was a direct UV printing, it wasn't like standard like paper paper printing or screen printing or whatever. It was like specialty printing. So I had like extra chemicals and stuff that I used.
That's fair.
Yeah. Maybe I should have had that extra hot dog for dinner. I had some potato bread today and it was really good.
I was talking to a buddy of mine about... No, not slept all. Don't be weird. You're being weird. Series 1. About the times that we were in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and eating ramen at the little ramen shop.
Mm-hmm.
It was, you know, around the corner in EY. So, like, the middle of Nowheresville, Japan.
Mm-hmm.
We had this great place, which was run by this kid and his dad. And when I say kid, he was a 20-something. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
So, EY was so far out in the boonies that the people who lived there kind of realized that that was their lot in life. You know, that was, they were going to live and die, and that was, you know, that was it. Sort of thing. They were so far out. And so it was like, wow, that's kind of wild, you know?
Yeah. It's even more wild that they just accept that.
They just accept that. But he was so nice. You know, the noodle guy was so cool. And it was like, he was, you know, he, every time we came in, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Every time we came in, he'd be like, oh, okay, well, you know, here are the people that, you know, normally show up. Here are our teachers. And he'd make us bowls of ramen. And we had like things, because like my wife, who was, you know, my wife doesn't eat pork. So you'd get a thing of ramen with, with pork on it, and I'd steal the pork.
Mhm.
And I don't usually eat deviled eggs, or I don't like eggs that are identifiable. So I give her
Mhm.
the eggs, and she'd give me the pork, and we swap. Well, it got to the point where he was paying such attention that when we'd walk in, he'd make the noodle bowls and just put double pork on mine and double eggs on hers.
Oh wow.
I mean, because he just knew us. He knew what we were doing.
Yeah.
And it was just so cute. And it was like, aw.
That is really adorable.
Yeah, I was like, aw, you're so cute. Thank you.
Yeah, I had when I worked at the Sichuan restaurant, they knew that about celiac and stuff, and my go-to dish was mugu gai pan. Yeah, it's so good, and because they knew that I couldn't have any of the brown sauce stuff unless they put tamari in it. And one of the chefs would drive me home every night because it was like a mile, almost 2 mile walk, and I didn't have a car at the time, and the buses were shut down by then, so there was no way for me to get home other than walk. So he was taking me home one day, and he asked me, he's like, "Why do you always get the mugu gai pan?" And I had to explain to him about celiac and stuff. He's like, "Oh, you can't have wheat?" I was like, "No, I can't have wheat, but there's a sauce called tamari sauce, and I can have that." And so the next day for dinner, because at this restaurant we had breakfast, lunch, and dinner at this restaurant, like complimentary from our bosses, and he also cooked. And so what they did is the next day for lunch they had a whole lot of food, and it was all brown sauce stuff. And at first I was like, what am I gonna eat? And they go, you can have everything. We cleaned everything really well, and we made it with tamari sauce instead.
Aww.
Yeah, and
That
so they're
was
like,
awesome of them.
yeah, and some of them actually liked the flavor better. And then for dinner, usually they made they would make us unique dinners usually for dinner, because not everyone ate dinner, but those of us that stayed the rest of the night did, usually for cleanup. And so every night he's like, all right, Kat, there was Kat's pan, and there was a pan, because, cleaning in a restaurant that cooks noodles all day is in soy sauce all day, it's really hard to keep a pan clean. And so it was just easier to have a set pan just specifically for me and my cooking. Like, oh, you only cook Kat's food with that pan. And that's what they did. They had Kat's pan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and of course, I helped out, cleaning up and stuff.
Yeah, because
so.
I mean, if they're gonna do that for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm like, all right, guys, what do you want? I'll go back and I'll help clean everything. So yeah, it was just really, really nice to my bosses cared that much about, and not just my bosses, but my coworkers cared enough to make stuff that I could eat, and that they were willing to try things different ways so that we could all eat together. And the biggest thing that was really different was when I finally got to have rice porridge. Oh my gosh. Wow, that was really good. I didn't know that would be that good. I'm not a porridge person. I'm not an oatmeal person. I'm not I'm not anything like that. But it was really good, and I went back for seconds.
That's fair.
Yeah, I didn't usually ask for seconds, because I did want to be the American that asks for seconds. You know what I mean?
Right. You didn't want to be the hog.
Right. Yeah. So I would just eat whatever portion size that they gave me. Until we started doing the family style dinners, where we were all just allowed to serve ourselves, and just take whatever portions we wanted. And he would eventually he started feeding us in the main dinner hall with everybody else. And I'm like, well, Robert, why were you? Well, Robert was his English name, but I'm like, why are you doing this? It feels a little weird eating in front of customers. And he's like, well, they we feel like it's a good idea to let them know that we actually take care of you guys. And you're eating too, and you shouldn't have to eat in the back hiding away just to eat. He's like, you guys have every right to eat among everybody else. So it was a really good place to work. I was really sad when I had to leave. I wish more places were like that.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So I found an interesting way of doing panels that really work for me. And that
Mm-hmm.
is on my page. I'll sort of have a panel idea and I'll sketch out some quick elements. And then I will copy that panel and paste it into a new illustration. So you do paste from clipboard up at file,
Mm-hmm.
and then I set up, like if I want to do perspective rulers or anything, I set up all that, and then it hyper lets me focus on that panel, and I
Mm-hmm.
just finish sketching that panel to where I want it, and then I bring it back and dump it into the main comic.
Oh, interesting.
It is interesting.
Yeah, that way you kind of can just focus on like one little thing rather than a lot of smaller ones. I can see how it gets you in focus mode.
So I am using that pen that Black Bat Neon recommended last night. I like it. It's a nice pen.
Nice.
That's the distribution I was looking for. What? Really? Oh my god. I can make them into little speech bubbles. That's probably the cutest thing I've ever seen. I'm into speech bubbles, I'm just saying.
How dare you have a niche interest?
Good to see you, Neon.
Speaking of which,
It's like you summoned them. Wow, teach me how to do
I
that.
know. Hi, Neon.
They were just talking about the brush that you suggested yesterday.
Right? And then poof, you're here.
It's like magic. Booger! I was supposed to be recording this entire time. That's okay. Dang it. No!
What are we doing?
I was supposed to. So what I've been doing is I've been recording my own, like while OBS is open. I've been recording it on my own. That way my own screen gets recorded. And I forgot to turn it on today.
Oops.
I just drew this whole thing without it being recorded. Dang it! Oh well, that's okay. That's okay. One less video for me to edit this weekend. I'll take it as a plus. Well, you know what? I'll probably be too busy drawing pages anyway to be editing videos, so.
All right.
New year.
As much as I like the little thing, the truth is it's hard to read.
So, I'm looking at this this artwork someone has done for a Western. And like the bottom corner, the guy's eyes aren't lined up right. So he has one eye that's kind of up here and another eye that's
Oh, I hate
like
that.
down here just slightly. And it's like, dude, you needed to flip the artwork so you could see that your eyes aren't lined up.
You know, that's something that so few people really know how to do, and that's something that really is fascinating to me.
Oh, flipping artwork?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It's literally, if you just open your quick access panel, it's literally a button over here. Boop,
I know,
flip.
it's a quick button.
Boop,
It's just
done.
a button.
Yeah.
Wait,
it's a single
what?
button.
There's a
What?
button up.
Well, not everyone has it at the top. You have to open it with the quick access panel. So here I'll show you. So it's window. Come on, window. Should be quick access. Yeah, quick access right here. And then over here. Oh, let me move this. Sorry, I forgot. Oh, whoops.
Because it's right here in mine.
Oh, yeah, I forgot I've got my stupid overlay in the way.
Yeah, so
1 second. Yeah, let me. Okay, there we go. Now we can see it. Sorry. So I have mine up here on the left-hand side, and it's just this little button. Boop, flip, boop, flip, boop, boop. Super easy. So you don't even have to like really work that hard to flip it. It's just a simple button, and it will save you so much trouble.
Where?
So it's window, quick access. Window, and it should be like the 4th or 5th option down.
here, it's also, it looks like these two triangles up at the top. One's an open triangle and one's a closed triangle. Right here.
Mm-hmm.
It's right up here. And you can do the other one too.
No. Yeah, if you can't see that toolbar, it's a command it's a window quick access.
Every artist should use that button all the stinking time. It's so acclimated to the way that your picture's looking.
Yep.
I'm not seeing that.
Can you not find it?
No.
You can't see it with window and then quick access. It should be checked.
Ah, there it is. Flip horizontal, flip vertical. So how do I move that from there to there?
You should be able to just drag it wherever you want it. I put mine on the left next to the other toolbar. That way all my toolbars in the same place. You could put it up on the top if you prefer. I don't, but you could put it up there.
Wow, look at this. What a glitch.
Oh yeah, it like interrupt. Ooh, oof. Clip
super
Studio, baby, are you okay?
I'm like, you feeling it?
Whoa!
Yeah, I've got a wild glitch going on.
baby, oh.
There we go.
I have a very important question for the manga readers here, and yes, I will judge. Just kidding, I won't, because we're friends. Please, like, how many of all the manga that you've read, how many of them have been shoujo, josei, or seinen, and they're not shonen?
I would say probably 25% of the stuff that I read is probably in that more seinen than it is shoujo.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, certainly.
Yeah.
The problem is I'm a mecha guy and a space guy, so like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm going to be reading Gundam and Gunbuster and you know,
Yeah.
just by the nature of what I'm attracted to.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, the reason why.
But I do love like
Uh-huh.
Naoko Takeuchi and stuff like that. I mean, Sailor Moon is a staple
Right.
sort of stuff, and amazingly, it's pretty easy to read in Japanese. So it's
Whoa.
easy. You know, it's an easy.
Yeah, man, you've got access to like the entire universe of manga. I'm so jelly. I'm working my way there. Classes twice a week, every week.
Oh no! But I mean, like that's the problem with shoujo manga,
Yeah.
especially space manga.
Mhm.
You'll end up with, you know, this ship is the super dimensional, you know, spacecraft with auxiliary back, and these are all in kanji. And I'm like, I don't even know
Oh God,
what you guys are saying.
it's all techno blabble.
Yeah, the technobabble is all kanji. So sometimes
Oh,
that's why I
Lord.
really kind of like to go to seinen, because it's like shoujo and seinen is so much easier. Because they're
Loud.
just saying, magical heart makeup. And I'm like, I'm good with that. That's not complicated.
Yeah. Let's see. Bat said, "Oh, I can get down if it's got good story, but that's hard to find sometimes. It can be. I feel like a lot of shoujo is better than people make it out to be, because people try to judge shoujo the same way they judge shonen, and it's not. It doesn't typically have the same themes, but people are like it's the same themes, just handled different ways." And so
Right.
people are like, "Ooh, it's not as action packed as a shonen is." No shit, Sherlock.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't always, it's not always. I mean, if you like actiony, Fushigi Yugi is a fantastic one. Yona of the Dawn, Red River, those are great shoujo and josei if you like, more actiony titles.
Right.
There's a whole bunch of them, really action packed shoujo and josei, seinen. There's action packed for all of them. And,
right.
And that's what people don't understand is they think of shoujo and josei as romance, chick flick drama-y stuff, and it's like, oh no, Sonny, oh no. I'm like, how y'all know how bad Berserk gets? You can find josei manga just like it. And the real Sailor Moon is dark.
Oh yeah. Well, and then on the other side, I just looked up what these two manga that I love reading are, and they're both seinen, and one is Cooking Papa, and the other is Sweetness and Lightning.
Oh, I know Cooking Papa. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Cooking Papa is a good one.
It's pretty. It can be pretty wholesome sometimes.
And Sweetness and Lightning is such a wholesome manga that it virtually has no action to it.
Yeah.
But it's great. So I don't necessarily look at, oh, you're in these categories only. I just find stuff I like.
Yeah, but the reason it came up is recently on Twitter, people were sharing their peak lists, and 90% of the peak lists were just the same shonen titles over and over again. And I'm like, y'all, I am begging of you, please go read some other stuff that's not Viz Media or not Shonen Jump. Even Shueisha itself has a huge variety of titles. If you look at Shueisha's actual magazine, actual product list.
Yeah.
Right? So, Kat, this is exactly what I'm talking about here, right? Because Merrick was just saying that. Super dimensional and went to Macross. That's literally what this is. So
yeah, that's a good one.
Chojiku Yosai Macross, right?
Oh my
so
gosh.
It's come on, think about this here. The only character I can easily get are these two. And then this one, I'm not even sure what Cho is.
Yeah, I see the G, and I see the one that I know is Sora, but it's a different reading of Sora.
So this is the same Cho that becomes Sen and Sentai sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
So it's Super. So this is Super, and then this is Uchu and G, so it's space-time, right?
Okay, that makes sense, yep.
And then these two are characters that mean it's a specialized type of castle, so it's a fortress. Right? So
I can see that, yeah.
It's Super, space-time dimensional fortress, Macross.
I love that I'm starting to recognize radicals now. I'm so proud of myself.
I like the fact that fortress is effectively putting the women underneath your business.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
It's a little weird.
Considering the series.
You start reading the kanji and you're like, wait, by radical, you're like, what? I don't think I want to play with that game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of funny considering, and that's been the weird part now. Is now that I'm like finally starting to recognize radicals, I'm finally starting to recognize kanji within kanji. I'm like, can I slightly understand, or at least roughly guess what this is about? what this is? Can I roughly guess?
Real quickly, let me
yeah.
address Merrick. Merrick, this is Doug Drexler's refit for the NX-01. So he said his belief. Doug Drexler was one of the illustrators. Is one of the illustrators because he worked on Picard. Is one of the illustrators who's been with the Star Trek series since the middle of TNG, so second season, third season TNG. But he's a Trekkie, and so he, worked his butt off to figure out a way to weasel his way into being on Star Trek, just so he could work on Star Trek because that was his lifelong dream. And his first job was powdering John Delancey's butt. That's his favorite story. So, anyway, he was in the makeup department.
Wait, you're serious?
There's an episode where Q turns into a human. He's turned human.
Yeah.
And so the first time he appears, he shows up naked on the bridge of the Enterprise, laying sideways, and he goes, "Red alert!" He goes up, falls to the ground, and goes, "Red alert!" Because he has no powers.
Yeah.
And so Doug Drexler's job, because they show him from behind, but of course, just the top half of his butt, not the bottom half of his butt.
Right.
Drexler's job was to powder his butt. That was his first job on Star Trek. And so Drexler then finally got his way into the art department, which is where he wanted to be in the first place. And then he worked with Rick Sternbach and John Eves when they were working on the NX-01, and that's the ship from Enterprise. And then he worked through Enterprise. And
talk about the long game.
Yeah, I mean, and then when he came out of Enterprise, there was supposed to be there was talk of being a fifth season, but Enterprise got canceled in the fourth season. So Drexler put out this concept of the NX-01 with a secondary hull. So it looked more like the Enterprise we know, with a saucer and then the cigar-shaped secondary hull and then the 2 warp nacelles. Because the NX-01 didn't have that. It was just flat on the bottom. And so with Picard, this last season of Picard, there was the museum. And they went to the museum, and if you looked at the museum, there were a whole bunch of ships at the museum, and one of them was the NX-01, the original Enterprise. And when they showed it from the bottom, you could see it had this secondary hull on it, which means that they canonized the ship.
Oh, that's so cool.
And so this version of the Enterprise is now canon. It now actually happened in the real world of Star Trek. It's part of it. So I decided, because I actually kind of liked it, I wanted to go ahead and do a watercolor painting. But then I couldn't find my watercolors. So I don't know where my watercolors went. So that's the next one.
Man, can you imagine like just dreaming of working on the show and then having your design end up being canonized?
Oh yeah. Right? I was like, he was gushing on Facebook. He was just like gushing over, like blubbering, sobbing awesomeness, because that was his thing. I mean, like, and of course, by the time we got to the end of Enterprise, he was buddies with with John Eves and with Rick Sternbach and all of the other artists who were there. So when he drew this up, the rest of them were like, yeah, that works. We'll accept that. But since you never saw it on screen, kind of the rule of Star Trek is if it's not on screen, it's not canon. So everybody sort of accepted it, that this is what happened after the 4 seasons of Enterprise. This happened. This was the refit. But nobody actually canonized it until Picard this season, when Terry Matalas, who's also a buddy of his and the showrunner for Picard, apparently just snuck in this model at the museum with the actual secondary hull, and you can see it clearly. It's on screen. There it is. So Drexler's model of the NX-01 with the refit is now officially canon. So I have
Amazing.
naturally, I have to draw it and paint it. That's what has to happen now. So I've been drawing on it for the last couple of weeks, and now the drawing is finished, and I printed it out, and I stuck it over there, so now it's sitting over here at my work desk, but I can't find my paints.
No.
So here it sits, just existing, till I find my paints. That's
Broken-hearted.
Yep. Well, so oddly, my watercolor paintings of other Star Trek ships sold pretty well at conventions, which I wasn't ready for.
Yeah, and
So-
it sold really well, and you were getting people asking about.
Yeah, they wanted bigger versions of it and bigger prints. So I've decided I really rather enjoy painting Star Trek starships, so this isn't a big issue. I'll happily do that. With great cool. Once I figure out what I did with my paints.
It's called Ikigai, guy. Like, embrace it.
Right?
Embrace the Ikigai.
Totally. I mean, there's no reason not to. It's like, I'm totally into this plan.
Jelly.
It's so much fun. I love just making spaceships. I love star charts. I love making spaceships. I love all the things I do with my comic. My comic is one big happy. Well, I believe firmly in the Neil Gaiman rule, which is, write what you think is cool, and then the people will follow you.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever thinks it's cool, will think it's cool, and then they will follow you, and then you. But it's sort of an expansion of "To thine own self be true," which is once you start getting all caught up in trying to do it in a way that isn't cool or goes against the grain of your muse, people can sense it. It comes out in the writing.
Yep.
And it comes out in the drawings. So might as well do what you're good at. Just keep going. You'll attract the right people. That's something I noticed with Springs, my comic strip. I wanted to do a political statement with it once. And clearly that is not where that muse is going. And I couldn't draw Springs for like 6 or 7 months after that. I pissed off the muse, and the muse just walked right out the door. Nothing was funny. I couldn't think funny.
Yeah, that's kind of bad story. Yeah.
And
It's kind of what I thought after I changed everything for God's Bane. I couldn't draw for weeks after that.
Yeah, don't go against your muse. Man, don't screw your muse over. That's death.
She needs to get her shit together. We got pages to do.
Right?
All right, honey, you've been slacking long enough. Let's get back to work.
Work slave.
Faster, cheaper, faster,
Hotter, better, faster, stronger.
We should all be equal now. Work. There.
Yay! My cloths are coming.
Your cloths?
I bought a whole bunch of cotton cloths for doing cheese making.
Oh.
And so instead of buying cheesecloth in the store because they are expensive,
Yeah.
I found these cotton cloths but they're meant for like straining foods or doing different things like that. And they were like $11 for a pack of like 6,
It's not bad.
like a 6-pack. But it was much cheaper than trying to buy cheesecloth in the store.
Mm-hmm.
And particularly since I'm going to be doing a lot of cheese, I figured just having them around would be nice.
Yeah. Checks out.
Well, I found my tin whistle. Didn't find but I did find I find this interesting. This is a magnet for Bojos. But it's the magnet for the Arvada Bojos when it used to be right up here at 88th or 80th and Watts before it moved down next to I-70, which was, I don't know, what, 10 years ago? That's kind of cool. Still have not found before. What's really cool about having that microphone speaker live, even when I'm over here, I'm reaching around my pockets. Still have.
Inking beautiful men, huh?
Huh?
Oh, Bat said that they just love inking beautiful men.
Nothing wrong with that.
Shonen.
Be shonen, yeah.
Beachy, beachy. I've got no problems with that whatsoever. When I was
Kitty kitty.
When-
You can't forget the kitty kitty.
yeah. When I was younger, I mean, that was like my whole like drive. Like when I was a teenager, that's what got me started, was drawing cute girls.
Yeah.
You know, it's changed, of course, as I've grown older, but that's what started me in the whole thing, was drawing cute girls.
Yeah.
I look back on my early work and I'm like, wow, really beachy. Like all my work's all beachy.
Have you seen my main character?
Right? Your main character.
Look at him. Look at him. He's so beachy.
He's so beachy.
We find a better picture of his beachiness.
So beachy.
He is the beachy a little bit.
So beachy.
He'd be a little butthead too. He's prettier than me, and that should not be allowed.
Fair.
The real Bishi though is Hokoi. He's the real Bishi.
Yeah.
His student. God, all of the men are Bishis. What have I done? I'm like looking for a good picture of Aros. I'm like, oh my god, they're all that way.
Totally beachy.
No.
You know what? Lean into it. Lean into it, my friend. Lean into it.
Yeah. Here we go. Here's Hokoi. He is my cinnamon roll. Okay, he is my precious child. He is my favorite. His name is Hokoi, and he's adorbs. So he is opening a door to like peek inside, and he's nervous because he's terrified of everything. And then he's like, "Ooh, what could be causing this door?" And there's like two hands behind him. He wears flowers in his hair and everything. He's very Bishonen.
Neon's a fan.
Yeah, good. He's one of the main characters, so
Yar.
you get to see a lot of him.
And what's so funny, not funny, what's so interesting is there is an entire genre around Bishonen.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's absolutely nothing wrong with both you and Neon just drawing beautiful men.
Dude.
I mean, you've got an entire genre that just
Right?
sits out there happy to embrace you in its arms. So
Yeah. Look at Griffith. Okay,
Go
Griffith
with
should not have the fandom that he does, but he has one. By God.
yeah, go with it. Roll with it, man. Just roll with it.
Don't worry about it. Just do it.
Don't worry about it.
I
You
have
can be
no
all
idea where
the
that
you
came
want.
from. Don't know where that came from, but it happened. I'm gonna send a pic in the Discord. I'm currently inking Vladimir's. This is my happy place. Oh, I see.
As I'm drawing old men drinking.
No judgment. That's definitely a convincing hand. Yep, definitely. totally legit.
I gotta fire off Discord so I can show Neon's work, or at least see Neon's work. I love your work, Neon. You're doing good stuff, man. Doing good stuff. Like, is my stuff over here? I feel like I stuck it someplace safe so that I wouldn't lose it, which is why I've lost it. Naturally. Oh, I gotta fire off my Discord. Oh, hey, what's streamer mode?
It's just the Discord making it so that it doesn't send you notifications while you're in streamer mode.
Oh yeah.
It lets you work in peace. And lets everybody else know that you're streaming. You can disable it if you wish.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's the whole point. So, Neon, were you here whenever we were talking about body doubling? Because that's like the whole.
Oh, I remember that discussion. Yeah.
That's the whole point. So.
Human brain is fascinating.
So ADD, I've got ADD, which is, well, I mean, I guess it's kind of obvious that that's, everybody knows what it is. Anyway, so don't need to explain what ADD is. But the thing is that a lot of people who have ADD, there are lots of different ways that we can try to fix, all of our various issues. And one of them is something called body doubling. And to body double means you ask somebody, a buddy or whatever, to just sit next to you while you work. You don't need them to watch you. You don't need them to keep you on task. But what you do is they just sit with you, and for some reason, it keeps you on task. So this entire show is just 4 hours a day of me body doubling with people. You can join and body double. Chat with us or not chat with us. Just body double. So that's the whole point. So that's exactly why I'm like, please join us, Neon.
Yeah, I've got people that join my YouTube streams for the same reason. They're like, oh, hey, you're working. I'm going to work with you. I'm like, okay.
Yep.
It's a thing. People do.
It is. So yeah, that's called body doubling. It's an interesting thing I learned. What's so funny is I learned it because my buddy sent me a thing on it, and I had no idea. So,
Brains are weird.
You know that I was in San Antonio a couple of weeks back to help clean out the rest of my dad's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I found a thing that I actually was very glad to find, and I'm going to share it real quick. I will share. Neon, do you want me to share your picture? I will.
Whoops.
So anyway, here's an interesting thing that I found in my dad's stuff. My dad went to the Royal Shakespeare Company in 1968, and the headliner was this relatively unknown bald dude named Patrick Stewart.
Oh my goodness.
And he still has the flyer, which has this page in it, which shows him and talks about him, and look at how young he looks.
That's wild.
So I just scanned it in because I'm like, oh my gosh. I remember seeing it in his house back in the 90s and going, oh my God, Dad, I didn't know that you went to see Patrick Stewart. And he was like, oh yeah, I remember him. He was pretty good. You know, because my dad was my dad being my dad.
Yeah.
You know. So let me go ahead and real quick. There. Look at that. That's neon.
Wow, very nice.
Yeah. Heavy sigh. And like, so I made a bunch of buttons, and the one that was most popular was the one where Chang has got like a weird look on her face, and underneath it I just wrote, how about no? And that one was like super popular. Everybody loved that button.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
I'm like, keep writing sigh and then write it out and then like make a button of this.
People will love it.
Flying it all over the place. And be like, oh, I get that. I feel that, man.
Mood.
All right. Back to all of us. I love your inking style, by the way. Are you doing this on tablet? I think so, because I think that they were sharing their brush with us. And it looks like tablet screen, but I'll ask anyway. Why assume?
We all know what their words make up assume.
Yep. You have really good control over your lines, and they have a lot of expression. They're very... The word that I hear a lot is alive. So the lines look alive. So your line control is really nice. I really like your line control.
Yeah, people really underestimate how hard it is to get really good control of your lines. So, like, you're doing a really good job.
It is like this ongoing constant fight with me in this tablet. I've never really gotten the line control that I wanted out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I either get blotches or pretty much the same size line. So I've taken to using the vector tool and doing all my lines in vector, and then going back with adjust line width and just tapping random bits of the line so that it just gets slightly big here and slightly thin there. And that makes it gives it life, but it doesn't give it life in a tactical way. Like when you look at Neon's work, their work is very tactical. You can see that the line's getting thicker in exactly the right place. For me, I'm still feeling like I'm just throwing lines randomly. It's just like line work everywhere.
Yeah, what really helped me, like, I mean, I feel like I have decent control over my lines. What really helped me was purposely drawing in an ink brush pen every single day without doing a sketch first. Because it forced me to, well, there was that exercise, and then I would print out in a blue line manga pages that I liked, and I would just trace and get really comfortable with my brush pen. And to the point where I could get the lines that other people were making, not just my own style. And that really helped a lot. Because it forced me to sit there and learn how to use it.
Yeah. 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 Sometimes you just... Brent had pointed out that I used to start the show, the morning shows, by doing line exercises and drawing exercises back in the day.
You aren't doing those anymore?
He thinks that I should probably restart that.
I agree. Yeah, because like really good exercises are, of course, like, you know, like your firm start and stop hatching style, and then you want to practice coming in soft and going out soft. Coming in. Oh, that sounds really bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That way you can practice getting that control that you want. And like the bigger you make the brush, the harder it gets.
Right?
But eventually you'll get really good control.
I might start shows with inking practice over there on my work desk now. Work desk is active.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Aw, right here it says, being hairless on top and quite young can have its advantages. When a director gathers a company for a season, he's looking for a variety of types. With the aid of a toupee, he can regard me as two for the price of one. Feel more like an economic asset than an artistic one.
That's funny though.
Oh man. Patrick Stewart is married to choreographer and actress Sheila Falconer. They're expecting their first baby toward the end of the season. Huh. Their first baby would ultimately be it would ultimately act with him in Inner Light later on. His son did that. His son acted with him as his son in the episode The Inner Light. This is why you have Trekkies around us, because we've got the most ridiculous obscure knowledge. Like, why do we know all these things about Star Trek? There's really no reason we store all this data. I keep thinking, what part of my life am I just forgetting because of all the things I'm storing by Star Trek? With all these new Star Trek series, I'm going to start forgetting to wear clothes somewhere along the line. You'd be like, dude, what happened? I forgot clothes. I left without shoes. Start putting ties on when I'm wearing a t-shirt. Wearing white.
No, that's not forgetting. That's a stylistic choice
Right.
at that point.
I like the fact that Kat vanished there. That's the point that Kat left. Of all the things that I have said to Kat over the years, and that's the one that made her leave.
Wait, what was it?
Oh, I was just talking about forgetting my clothes, I guess. Forget my hair. Abandon these amateur dramatics or get out. Probably the most crucial words in the working life of Yorkshire-born Patrick Stewart. They were spoken to him by the editor of a well-known West Reading weekly newspaper, to which he had been attached to for 12 months. This is just really cool.
Okay, this is turning out to be a really nice page.
See you later, Neon. Good night. I am kind of getting worried now that Kat's not returning. I hope I really didn't legitimately scare them off. I can't imagine me doing that. But then again,
You know? Well, you also don't know if their internet cut out.
yeah, if their internet just kicked the bucket.
It's also after midnight, too.
Yep.
I think this guy needs some crow feet right here. Yeah, that's
See you later, Merrick. Have a good evening, my friend. We'll see you we'll see you later.
Oof.
I'm gonna keep scanning these 2 scans, and then I'm going to bed too. But I might as well keep you with me while I'm doing these 2 scans if you're still drawing. So
Yeah.
I hope I didn't lose Cat permanently.
I don't think so.
No. I'm not really worried. My buddy Ian is doing a whole bunch of 3D modeling of different versions of different phasers. And I'm having this horrible desire to like snag some of these phasers from him.
Ugh. Yeah, the random dude at the bar and the bartender turned out really nice. I think I'm gonna do some detailing on the one guy's hand, though.
It's okay. You don't have to hop back on. I just think it was really funny, Kat, because I was like, well, I'll probably forget my clothes somewhere along the line. Then Kat leaves. I'm like, okay, that wasn't literal. I wasn't really. It was like perfect timing. It was perfect timing. So, oh yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
the timing was impeccable. It was perfect. It was like, wait a minute, that probably was not as good as it should have been, huh? Oh well, yeah, we should shut her down. Yeah, probably. It's probably overloading because school. It's the way it is. So
I'm actually glad I switched over and worked on issue 5 tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Because getting through these couple of pages is going to be really, really nice because I'm setting up a fight scene and I'm
Right.
setting up some things for the next issue.
Looking through this playbill is fascinating. There's like pictures of Patrick Stewart when he was a struggling young actor.
You know, if you ever get to have Patrick Stewart autograph something, like you ever go to a show and he's there, you should get that playbill autographed.
Right? That'd be so cool.
Because he would sit there and go,
I can't believe you have this. Yeah.
holy moly.
He'd probably read through it and go, this is amazing. What I'd probably end up doing is giving it to him.
No, I would have him sign it. And then when he goes, where did you get this? Tell him the story about your dad went to one of his shows when he was there, and you thought it'd be really, really kind of a nice touch that you got it signed.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
To remember your dad.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a picture of Patrick Stewart, and he's got dark hair all around here. He doesn't even look the same. But he doesn't have any hair on top, like he says. But it is fascinating.
Well, shall you play us out, Keyboard Cat?
Yeah, we definitely need to shut us down, shouldn't we? All right. All right, guys. It was good having you all here. It was good doing good work. I will see you all later, and as always, keep your eyes on the stars. Goodbye.
Bye.